Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike from M&R Automotive. Today we have a brand new 2025 Ram 2500 Heavy Duty, and we've installed a 40-inch Slim as well as the Pro Series light bars. Alright, first thing we want to do is take off this cover, and it's held by a bunch of push clips all around. Don't forget there's two in the back. So the way you prop these open, you just lift up on the head of the push pin, and then when the head is up, and then you can remove it. So we're going to do that for all of them. Alright, now that all the push pins are removed, we can lift up on the plastic trim, and we're going to set it aside. Next thing we're going to do is remove 10 10mm bolts, as well as two push pins, one on each side. Now that all the push pins and the bolts are removed from the top brow, we can just pull it forward and set it aside. Alright, so now we're going to remove 6 10mm bolts here. So now we have to remove this trim piece that goes in the middle of the headlight. Alright, so with a plastic prying tool, I'm just going to wedge it in here, and I'm going to peel it on the bottom. There you go. It's nothing but clips here. There it goes. And you want to go all the way around. And I'll show you the clips after I remove it. If you drop some of these clips, it's not broken, it's just they fell out of their spot. I'll show you exactly where they go on the inside. So let's continue with prying the top piece open. There it goes. So let me show you where those two clips go. This one's from here, and this one's from here. So here's all the clips that were removed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a total of 8 clips. And you're just trying to pry them with your fingers. So now let's do the passenger side. I'm going to pry with my prying tool, and I'm going to start prying with my fingers from the bottom. I'm just grabbing and separating all the clips. That clip fell out, that's fine. We're going to put it back. So over here, this clip wants to come with the body that it's attached to, so I'm going to use a screwdriver, and I'm just going to separate them. There it goes. And I'm going to continue going. So now I'm going to the top. So now that this panel is off, we can reinsert the clips that fell out. They didn't break. You just have to put them back in place when you're reinstalling this panel. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clips total. So now we have to remove this lower mustache trim piece. And I'm just going to go ahead and pry it and try to unclip it. There it is. It's also nothing but clips. We're trying to separate the white panel from the black panel. Yeah, so slowly you're just pulling on it and prying this trim piece out. And I'm just going to try to start unclipping. There it is. There's also one in the bottom. There it is. So now with both sides, I'm just kind of working my way inward and seeing what else is holding it. There it is. Alright, so now we'll remove the bottom trim piece. Alright, so some of these clips, they ended up coming off of these tabs and they're still stuck in the grill. We're going to carefully remove these and reapply them back onto this trim panel. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these with my needle nose pliers. Pull these out. After we pulled out the clip from the grill, I'm going to actually reinstall it back. Some of these teeth need to be bent back or outward to fit. There it goes. So now we're going to do with a couple more that ended up getting stuck inside the grill. So now we're going to remove these 4 10mm bolts. Now let's do the same thing on the passenger side. Perfect. Okay, so now we're getting ready to remove the grille. One thing I do want to point out is that our vehicle did not come with a camera. And if your vehicle is equipped with one, you might have another harness that you have to unclip. So now that you lift up on these tabs, the grille comes loose, but we do have one harness here on the bottom. It's this radar block. So we're going to go ahead and squeeze it and remove it. Push it, and it comes off. So now that nothing is holding the grille, we can actually remove it. So now that we have the grille off, we're going to install our 40-inch light bar. The product comes in two different variations. You have either the slim 40-inch light bar or the Pro Series 40-inch light bar. The installation is identical. We're going to install the slim first, and then we'll do the Pro. Alright, so now let me show you the brackets. They're the same brackets for either the slim or the Pro kit. With the M&R kit, you do get a passenger bracket as well as a driver bracket. Those are the brackets that get attached to the vehicle. So I'm going to pick up the passenger side bracket. If you look at the bracket, there's a large hole and a small hole. We're going to use the large hole and replace it using this bolt. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove this T30 bolt. We're going to slide this bracket and rethread it using the factory hardware. So first I'm going to remove the T30 bolt. I'm going to thread it through the large hole of the bracket, and we're going to reinstall it. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now we're going to do the same thing on the driver's side, and we're going to be removing this bolt. Once again, the factory bolt gets reinstalled through the large hole of the bracket. Awesome. So now with the M&R brackets installed, we can reinstall the grille. So you can see they pop out here in between the slots of this grille design. So now this is where you install either the slim or the Pro 40-inch light bar. With your light bar, you're going to get a set of L brackets. These brackets get attached to the ends of the light bar, and we're going to use those to connect them to the M&R mounts that are already installed on the truck. Another thing I want to point out is that on our truck, the battery and the power distribution box that we're going to be using is on the driver's side. So I want to make sure that the wire is on the driver's side as well, so that way we don't have to reach across it and we'll have enough length. So now I'm going to pick up one of the L brackets and I'm going to attach it to the light bar. Notice that on the L bracket, there's a stud coming out from the bottom. This is going to go on the inside of the light bar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to align it like this, and I'm going to use the supplied hardware in order to attach it. Perfect. Let's do the same thing on the opposite end. Once again, there's a stud coming out from the bottom. This is going to go on the inside of the light bar. I'm going to pop it off again. I want to reconnect the RAM radar technology sensor as well as show you how I route the wire. It's easier if the grill is pulled off a little bit. So I'm going to pop up those two tabs, slide it slightly forward. So I'm going to reach in and reconnect the sensor. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to guide this wire one slot above this tab. So I'm going to feed it through here, and we're going to feed it up. Once we have it up, we're going to feed it into the engine bay. So I want to eliminate all the slack before I install the light bar. You got to keep it nice and tight so that way it doesn't interfere with the active shutter system. Okay, unclip and feed it through. Now I'm going to take off these two nuts on the L brackets because we're going to thread them through the bracket, and I'm going to keep pulling on the wire to eliminate the slack. Alright, this is good. Now we're going to feed one bolt and secure it with a supplied nut, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite end. So now I'm going to use a wrench to tighten those nuts. So now that you guys see me install the slim light bar, let me show you how to install the Pro. It's the exact same steps to install the Pro. We already have the brackets installed onto the truck, So all I'm going to do is install the end caps on a light bar, and we're going to mount it. I'm going to grab one of the light bar mounts. Notice that the L shape of the bracket is facing towards the center, and then I'm going to use supplied hardware to mount the end caps onto the light bar. Also, I want to mention, since our power distribution box is going to be on the right hand side, on the driver's side, we're going to have the wire coming out on the driver's side as well, so that way it's easier to connect the power and we don't have to run the wire across the grille. And then the mounting bolt, it's on the inside pointing down. So let me tighten these bolts. And we'll do the same thing on the passenger side. Once again, the L shape of the bracket is going towards the center, and then the bolt is sticking down. We're going to use the supplied hardware. Perfect, now we're ready to install this onto the truck. So first thing I want to do is route my wire. I'm going to loosen the grill and pull it forward a little bit. I'm going to feed the wire through it, so that way to eliminate any slack, and it's going to be easier to mount. I like to use this slot, which is higher than the bracket and to the left. I'm going to feed my wire through it, and we're going to feed it up. Once I grab it here, I'm going to feed it into the engine bay. I'm going to try to remove as much slack as possible before we install it. There it is. We're getting closer. Now I'm going to clip the grill back in. Alright, so now let's remove the provided nuts from the bracket and let's mount the light bar. We're going to get one of the bolts in. We're going to secure it with a provided nut. And now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Feed it through and secure it. Let me pull on the wire to get the slack out. The main reason you want to get the slack on the wire so that way it doesn't interfere with the active shutter system. So now that there's no slack, we can tighten these nuts. So now that we have the wire in the engine bay, this leaves us just to connect the power source. The slim line as well as the pro line, they wire the same way. If your vehicle is equipped with factory auxiliary switches, you can provide power using 2 switches to the Pro Series light bar as well as the slim. If your vehicle is not equipped with factory auxiliary switches, such as the one we're using today, we're going to provide power to the light bar using the M&R wireless wiring controller. The best part about it is you don't have to drag wires inside the cab for switches. It makes your installation a lot easier. Let me show you how to assemble it. You get your stickers for the wireless remote. There's a remote. There's the actual controller. A magnetic pad for the remote. You use the 3M tape to put this pad in somewhere inside the cab, and then it'll just stick and create a base for the remote. You get some mounting zip ties, and we get a bag of hardware. You get a master fuse, and this is 100 amp. You get a fuse holder, and when you take the cover off, that's where we're going to connect the master power wire. So let's go ahead and connect the fuse. I'm going to go ahead and unscrew these 2 bolts. Take off the top washer. I'm going to go ahead and slide the fuse here, and we're going to also connect the 2 terminals. So inside the baggie you get 2 red wires. This is going to be our power wires. You get a ground wire. Also get an ACC wire. It's an optional feature. We're actually not going to use this ACC wire for this project because the fuse size is different, so we're going to put it away. So now that we're installing the master fuse for the fuse box, we're going to go ahead and connect the 2 power wires, one on each side. We're going to use the washer and the nut that we previously removed. On the second end, we do the same thing. We're going to connect the terminal. We're going to put a washer, a lock washer, and a nut. One end inside the box, one end to the battery, and there's a fuse in the middle. So let me show you how to connect this wire into this box. Let's go ahead and take off the 4 bolts. And if you look inside, there's a battery plus and a battery minus tag. So the red wire is going to go to the battery plus. We're going to unscrew this. I'm going to slide the terminal underneath it like that, and we can tighten it. Now that the positive is ready, we're going to do the same thing for the ground. It's a small terminal here. So now we have this unit assembled, and we can connect it to the battery of the truck. So now that we're in the engine bay and we've assembled the M&R wireless controller, let's connect it to the battery. I'm going to go ahead and remove this protective cap. So now we're going to connect the positive terminal. You can use any of these contacts. Everything's 12 volts. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to loosen this nut. I'm going to slide our terminal underneath it, and I'm going to tighten it. Alright, so that's going to be our power, and then we have a ground terminal. We can use this ground on the negative of the battery, slide my wire underneath it, and tighten it. One thing you want to notice, there's a green light that lit up in the corner of the module. It shows you that it has proper power and ground. Now we're ready to connect our light bar wiring. Alright, so let's go over the wiring. If you purchase the 40-inch Pro Series light bar or the Slim light bar with 2 functions, you're going to get 3 wires. You're going to get the red wire, which is the power to the main function, powerful white light. You're going to get a black wire, which is the ground, and you're going to get a white wire that is the amber DRL. If you purchase a single function Slim light bar, you're not going to get this white wire. You're just going to get a red and black. This is power, this is ground. So because this is a dual function light bar, we need 2 different switches. We're going to provide the powerful white light, and we're going to do the amber DRL. So we're going to provide power to these 2 wires, and this is going to be the ground. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull on it to separate it, give yourself a little slack. So I'm going to connect these 2 wires to the power distribution box, and the black one's going to be the ground. So let's connect the red wire to switch number 1. Loosen the terminal, slide the wire in there, and tighten it. And we're going to connect the white wire, which is the amber backload. We're going to do that to switch number 2. Okay. So the last thing we have to do is just ground it, and we're going to ground the black cable. So I'm going to put an eyelid onto my ground. I'm going to crimp it. And we're going to use a bolt here on the chassis, which is a very nice grounding point. I'm going to loosen it, slide the eyelid through it, and reconnect it. I'm going to slide my eyelid, and I'm going to retighten it. So now that everything's connected, let me show you what I typically do with the distribution box. There's 2 holes on the inside of the box that you can actually physically hard mount it to like a fuse box or any hard surface. Or the kit comes with zip ties, and you can zip tie it to hard surfaces such as these crossbars to make it stationary. Okay, great. So now that we have everything connected and there's a green light, let me show you how the light bar looks like. Alright, let me show you how the Slim light bar looks like. So switch number 1, that was designated for a powerful white light, and switch number 2 is the amber backload. It looks really good. Now let me show you how the Pro Series light bar looks like. Alright, so here's the Pro. With switch number 1, you get the powerful white light, and with another flip of a switch, you get amber DRL, daytime running light, low intensity amber. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and got the confidence that you need to install this product yourself. I know you guys are going to absolutely love it.